Hi, everybody. It's the Reverend Tricia Hart. I wanted to come back this afternoon because it was very choppy and very hard to watch, and I'm sorry. Many of you joined, which I was grateful for, and then dropped off, and I totally get it. I'm grateful for your patience and your forbearance as we work this technology out. We're disappointed, but we're not daunted. We're going to find good ways to make this process work and smooth out the problems before next Sunday. I wanted to post this short message to thank you for hanging in and also to give you just a little summary of what I was trying to talk about this morning. I told a story about a couple of pioneering women ministers in the second half of the 19th century in the Midwest, which was then the Western frontier 140 years ago. Their names were Mary Safford and Eleanor Gordon. They grew up together and dreamed of becoming ministers one day, Unitarian ministers. And the reason they did that is because they read the work of ministers like William Ellery Channing and Ralph Waldo Emerson and Theodore Parker, who preached that all people have dignity and the capacity to do great things in life, all people, even women. I learned about these women and several other pioneering women in that it seems that the seminarians who came out from Harvard tended to, quote, run the people off with pulpit abstractions and condescending ways, unquote. But the women were different. Mary and Eleanor and several other young women ministers that they mentored were committed to making religious community that had to do with people's real lives, communities that were committed to social reform and education. And what they hoped for were smarter, better informed people, healthier children, and the stronger society that would result. The purpose of these churches was learning, not religious conversion. They even changed the architecture. Between 1880 and 1913, the sisterhood and their congregations built and paid for more than 20 new houses of worship. And all of the buildings, as different as they were, felt like home. They were centered on hospitality. They were simple and functional, with plenty of fireplaces and workable kitchens and meeting rooms and spaces for children, as well as worship. So why did I want to tell you this story today? Because just like back then, in the second half of the 19th century, when everything was changing, everything is changing now. The pandemic will pass, and we will not be the same. Our congregations won't be the same either. As we consider what to do now and what we will need to do next, we need to remember that change doesn't just happen to us. Change happens also because we, the members and the friends and the ministers and the staff of congregations, shape everything that congregation does. Shape it to the needs of people as those needs change, which is a good thing. My favorite tweet of the last few days goes like this. I don't know who posted it. He said, I know everyone is saying we should use this time to be productive in new ways or whatever, but maybe we could use it to think about what kind of world we want to live in. What kind of world do we want to live in? And what kind of religious community might help that happen? An online one, for sure. I'm still wondering, who are those people who watched last Sunday's live stream? How many are not normally part of any congregation at all? And why did they watch, and what did they like about it? Is there a message, a purpose in the deep and ever-growing roots of our faith that the world needs right now? That we need, not just to say out loud, in real time, in real life? And how can we do that? The benediction I gave today is by Rabbi Yusuf Kanevsky. He's the rabbi of a modern Orthodox congregation in Los Angeles. You may have heard this. It may be worth hearing again. One of the brand new terms that has entered our daily conversation is social distancing. It's shorthand, as we well know, for the practical physical precautions that we all must take in order to protect ourselves and others. But I'd humbly suggest that we use the term itself sparingly, if at all. Language is a powerful shaper of thinking, and the very last thing we need right now is a mindset of mutual distancing. We actually need to be thinking in the exact opposite way. Every hand that we don't shake must become a phone call that we place. Every embrace that we must avoid must become a verbal expression of warmth and concern. Go in peace. Be peace and hope and blessing in your lives. Thanks for taking care of yourselves and one another. I'll see you soon.